Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sports Blitz here, and the NFL draft is just about over. I'm going to go ahead and finally go through my draft grades for each pick. Um, Today, I'm only going to be doing the first round. I think probably tomorrow I'm going to be trying to do the second and third round, and then I'll probably do just a quick video uh, 2 days from now going over rounds 4 through 7. Um, and I'll at some point put out a draft winners and losers type of video, but for right now, this is just grading each pick, and I'm gonna start off right off the bat. I'm gonna go ahead and give both the Bryce Young and CJ Stroud picks an A plus. I mean, I don't think there was anything better that either team could have done. I think they both had an A plus for that pick. Um, but then at number 3, that's where things really got interesting. Um, I really like the move by the Texans because they really need that stud edge rusher again. They really need that pass rush help. Will Anderson is my favorite pass rusher in this draft, so absolute stud to the Texans. My worry is that they may have given up a little bit too much. I want to say that the Texans gave up next year's first, so that's a lot for them. And I want to say they also gave up their second round pick, which was I think number 33 if I remember correctly, which is basically a first rounder if you think about it. I mean, it's just a lot of value right there. Um, but will Anderson be worth it? Maybe. Maybe. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that pick. If I was grading just the player, I'd give them an A plus. But because of how much they had to give up for him, I'm gonna go ahead and give the pick a B plus. Then we have for the Colts, I'm gonna go ahead and give it an A. I really like Anthony Richardson. I think he was the best quarterback available for the Colts to take. I think he fits what they want to do really well. I mean, Shane Steichen was really able to make it work with Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. I think he could make it work with Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna give that an A. Then we have the Seahawks taking Devin Witherspoon. First kind of interesting pick of the day, actually. Um, I like the pick. I don't know that I love it. Okay. Um, I mean, they could have gone with a guy like Jalen Carter or Tyree Wilson, or I'll be honest, I even had Christian Gonzalez rated higher than Witherspoon. Just being honest. Um, I do like Witherspoon. I think him and Tariq Woolen are going to be a really, really good duo in the league. I'm going to go ahead and give the pick. I'm going to give it an A minus. I'm going to give it an A minus. Then we have the Cardinals. They made some good moves, moving back to 12 and then back up for Paris Johnson. I mean, they basically got an extra first round pick next year, got the guy who honestly, I believe they've had their eye on for a while. They really want to protect Kyler Murray. Um, I think it was a really, really smart move by the Cardinals. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the pick an A. I mean, just brilliant move by the Cardinals. I've got to give them a lot of credit there. Then we have the Raiders taking Tyree Wilson. I'm gonna be honest. I see a lot of like a Chandler Jones type of guy in Tyree Wilson, and I think Wilson's a really good fit for the Raiders. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and give the pick. I know I sound crazy giving out all these like A's and everything, but I'm gonna give this an A minus. I really like this for the Raiders. Really good pick, really good fit. Then we have the Falcons. Um, I've been a little bit torn on this one. Um, Bijan Robinson is the best running back in the draft. Okay, no debates about it. He's the best running back in the draft. He would have been the best running back in last year's draft. Probably the best in honestly, if you're asking me, I think he's the best running back prospect since Saquon Barkley. In fact, maybe even before Saquon. So, I mean, really, really good player. Issue is, I know that 8 is really high for running backs, so that's why I have a hard time giving it an A. Because Bijan is such a freaking stud, I'm gonna go ahead and give them a B plus. Um, but 8 is pretty high for a running back. So then we have at number 9 the Philadelphia Eagles taking Jalen Carter. They traded up a little bit for Jalen Carter. Howie Roseman is just, he's a mastermind. I don't know how he does it. Um, really good move trading up here to get who honestly has a realistic shot at being the best defensive player in the draft. To me, it's between him and Will Anderson. So, really big, smart move by the Eagles. I have a feeling he'll be able to stay out of trouble. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give this an A. So then we have the Chicago Bears, and this is gonna be my first C of the day, and I'm actually gonna make it a C minus. First off, Darnell Wright. Um, I'm not real high on him, honestly. I mean, I thought tackles like Paris Johnson, I know he was off the board, but Peter Skoronski, even though he's probably going to be a guard in the NFL, I think even at tackle he'd be better than Darnell Wright. Um, Broderick Jones is better in my opinion. Um, Trying to think of other tackles right now, but anyways, I wasn't real high on Darnell Wright. Sorry, I don't know why my screen is like freaking out right now. But um yeah, I'm not real high on Darnell Wright. Not a fan of the pick. I'm gonna give it a C minus. I mean, I like what they're trying to do, trying to protect Justin Fields, but why not take like Broderick Jones, you know? Or even stay put at number 9 and take Jalen Carter instead of the Eagles. But then at number 11, we have the Tennessee Titans taking Peter Skoronski. I think that's a wise move. They really need offensive line help. Like I said, Skoronski very well could play guard in the NFL. I think he can play tackle as well, honestly. Whatever he ends up playing, I think it's a good pick for the Titans. They really needed offensive line help. So I'm going to go ahead and give the Titans here. I'm going to give it a B plus. I'm going to give it a B plus. Detroit Lions. I'm gonna give this a C. Um, I'm gonna drop it to a C minus as well. Second C minus of the day. Um, I thought it was smart of the Lions to at least not take him at number 6. But I mean, number 12, what are you doing, Lions? Like, what are you doing? Like, this is a guy they could have had probably at like 20-ish. I mean, they could have waited till their number 18 pick to take him. There's so many other guys that were on the board that the Lions could have taken right here. I don't think it was a smart move. I mean, I like Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's a good running back, but I mean, 12. It's just I I don't like it. I'm gonna say C minus. Then for the Packers, I'm gonna go ahead and give this. I'm torn between a C plus and a B minus. Van Ness is a pretty solid edge rusher, has some good upside. Uh, but I think there were other edge rushers available that are better. Um, Honestly, right here, if I was the Packers, I would have prioritized someone like Jackson Smith and Jigba, or maybe even like Quentin Johnston type of guy. Um, this isn't like a bad pick, okay? Like this is a solid pick. I can at least understand what they're doing, okay? So yeah, I'm gonna say C plus or B minus. Don't love the pick, but there's worse things they could have done. Steelers, they traded up to get Broderick Jones. I think that was a brilliant move by them. Um, and honestly, my brother's a big Steelers fan, and I know we give each other crap for our teams all the time. He was saying how badly he wanted Broderick Jones, and I was teasing him that it'd never happen. Well, it happened. They traded up for him. It was a really good move, actually. I'm gonna give the Steelers an A for that. That was a really good pick. Jets right here taking Will McDonald. Now I like Will McDonald, but I thought this was pretty early for him. I mean, I thought he probably would have gone honestly late 20s to early 30s. Maybe slip into the second round. So pretty early for the Jets. For that reason, I'm gonna give them a C. Pretty similar reason to the Packers with Luke Van Ness. You know, pretty similar situation. Commanders going Emmanuel Forbes. I don't love this move either. I mean, Forbes is a solid player, but I mean, again, with a guy like Christian Gonzalez on the board at that point, I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and give this pick a C plus. Not a great pick, but there's worse things they could have done, I think. Patriots, they were able to trade back and still get Christian Gonzalez. Um, yeah, that was a really good move by the Patriots. I'm gonna give them an A plus. Gonzalez is my number one corner in the draft. Getting him at 17 when that many corners have already come off the board, yeah, really good move by the Patriots. Um, then we have at 18 the Lions take Jack Campbell. Another thing by the Lions, like I really like Jack Campbell, I do, but middle linebacker is not usually a super high value position, not one that you see in the first round super often. Um, and this is a guy they probably could have waited until early 30s to take. So I don't love like how early in the draft they took him. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a C. Bucks right here taking Kalijah Cansey, and I can understand where they're coming from. For me though, I feel like the Bucks needed to improve their offensive line more. I feel like they needed to at least look at the quarterback position, maybe someone like Will Levis right there. Um, Maybe try to fix their run game. Which there's not a running back available right there that I'd take at 19, so I can understand that. But maybe a little bit of a reach on Kalijah Cansey. I expected him um to be a riser prior to the draft, so it's not a huge shock, but I didn't expect him to go quite as high as 19. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna give the Bucks a C plus for this. Then we have the Seahawks here. Um, I both like and dislike this pick for the Seahawks because they do have DK and Tyler Lockett, and they're really good receivers, but they don't really have much of a number three receiver. I was trying to think about like other guys they could really take right here, and I couldn't really think of anyone that would have made like a ton of sense unless they traded back. I thought about potentially like a Miles Murphy type of person, or maybe Nolan Smith. Um, Ultimately, I think this is a pretty dang good pick for the Seahawks here. Geno is going to have a ton of weapons. I'm going to go ahead and give the Seahawks here an A minus. Chargers right here, they get Quentin Johnston. Honestly, I think he is very similar to Mike Williams, to be honest. I think he's going to end up being a better version of Mike Williams. Um, which honestly, one of Williams's biggest issues is that he can't stay healthy. If Johnston can stay healthy, he's going to be a more consistent, probably a little bit better Mike Williams. Um, and for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and give the Chargers an A minus. Ravens, they go ahead and take Zay Flowers. Brilliant move by the Ravens. I kind of had a feeling as the draft was going on that Flowers was going to fall into the Ravens' lap, and I really like it. I I started seeing a lot of Zay Flowers and Tyreek Hill comparisons. Honestly, I would compare him more to like an Antonio Brown type of guy, and I think it's a good fit. I really do. I think he's a good fit in with the Ravens. I wouldn't be surprised at all if year one Flowers is Lamar Jackson's number one receiver, even over Odell. I really like the pick. I'm gonna go ahead and give the Ravens an A. Vikings right here. Go ahead and take Jordan Addison. Now, Jordan Addison, as you guys know, he wasn't a guy I was super high on this year. I know so many people really, really liked him. I wasn't a huge fan of him. Um, I mean, I don't think he's gonna be bad in the NFL. Like, I mean, with the Viking scheme, I'm sure he'll be able to put up numbers. But I don't love him as a player. Um, I mean, he was easily my wide receiver four, if not lower. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the Vikings here a B plus. 'Cause I mean, I think in their scheme they can still make him produce quite a bit, and it's gonna help the Vikings offense quite a bit. Just don't love the player, so I'm gonna say like B plus ish. Giants on the board, they go ahead and take Deontay Banks. I think that makes a lot of sense. I want to say they were getting rid of Adoree Jackson. I want to say it was Adoree Jackson. So they're really trying to rebuild that secondary. I really like the move. Deontay Banks is a solid corner. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a B plus. Bills right here taking Dalton Kincaid. That was kind of funny. So during the draft, I was also on the phone with my brother, and we were talking about draft picks. And when we saw that the Bills traded up, um, we were like, who could they be going for? I mean, all the receivers are gone. There isn't like an edge rusher here that makes sense. Maybe they want, we thought maybe they wanted like Osiris Torrance or something. Um, and I was joking. I was like, hey, maybe they, get Dalton Kincaid. Maybe they want another tight end um, for Josh Allen. And, I was joking around. And then Goodell announces that it's Dalton Kincaid, and I was mind blown. Like, I didn't think they'd actually take a tight end in the first round when they have Dawson Knox. So it's interesting. I wonder if the Bills are planning on doing a bunch of like two tight end looks. I I don't know. I'm kind of intrigued by that. I'm not sure how to feel about it. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a B minus. Um, Borderline B, but leaning a little bit more towards B minus. But then we have the Cowboys taking Mozzie Smith. Solid pick. I don't love it. I think it's a decent fit. I'm gonna go ahead and say a B. Jaguars taking Anton Harrison. I actually think that's a really good fit. Solid player. I probably would have expected him to go like early to mid 30s. So not like a crazy big reach, but you know, the fit makes up for it. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a B plus. Then we have the Bengals taking Miles Murphy. They really need some pass rush help opposite of Trey Hendrickson. And Miles Murphy, I think, is a really good fit for the Bengals. Actually, um, I mean, he's going from being a Clemson uh, Tiger to being Cincinnati Bengal. I really like the fit. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna give it a B plus. I'm gonna give it a B plus. Then we had the Saints taking D tackle Brian Brzee, also from Clemson, and you know, Brezee's a really good player, and the Saints really needed to rebuild their defensive line because I swear everybody on that line was 50 years old. Um, so I think it's a good pick for the Saints. I'm gonna go ahead and give them an A minus for that. Then the freaking Eagles. Um, they're basically becoming Georgia now. If you didn't know, um, I was really hoping Nolan Smith would somehow fall to Carolina at 39, but he didn't. He went to the Eagles. I thought it was a really good pick. Um, it's scary to think about how good the Eagles are getting, but yeah, I mean, I've got to give the Eagles an A plus right here. I really liked Nolan Smith. Um, I expected him to go like early 20s, maybe even as high as like 17 or 18. So, really good pick by the Eagles. Really good fit. It's a scary thought. Then we have the Kansas City Chiefs finishing the first round with Felix Anudike Uzoma, and I think he's a good Frank Clark replacement. I That's honestly about where I expected him to go. I'm gonna go ahead and give the Chiefs. I'm gonna give him a B plus right here. Good pick for the Chiefs. So, overall, let me know what you thought of these draft grades in the comment section below. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I'm hoping to upload the day 2 draft grades tomorrow, and then day 3 the day after. And this is, barring, me getting crazy busy or anything. I'm also going to be uploading a draft winners and losers type of video. So make sure to subscribe and keep an eye on the channel for more content coming. Um, but yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later.